Hello, MrMatchow here, and welcome back to another MrMatchat. This week, our focus is going to be Doom 2, the Hell on Earth, which... wow, it feels... I guess I should somewhat call this a retrospective on first-person shooters and do a brief look back in the history they sort of come from, and especially with the title such as Doom. Obviously focusing on Doom 2 because at the moment, a little while ago, I bought it on a Steam sale. You can buy the Doom Classic Pack, which contains a whole load of different Dooms around Doom 2 and like its master levels and other things like that for about £10, which I must admit isn't too bad for like, but it is. You do get quite a few games in it, and from playing around, I think I've definitely got my worth out of the title sort of thing. So, for those people who have no idea what the Doom series is one of the first original first-person shooters released on the PC. Doom 2, however, was released 1994, actually a year before I was even born. So, wow, I must sound like an absolute scrub not being being literally born as the age of Doom and first-person shooters and things. But during its first release and stuff, there was a lot of other titles around, obviously like Quake, Wolfenstein. Actually, I'll come back to Wolfenstein in the recent re-release. Well, not the new game, New Order, coming out, and how it's sort of taken inspiration from some of the older titles and things. But Doom 2 is a fun game. I must admit, I've enjoyed playing through it, sort of thing. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do like a retrospective review and sort of come back to this is because I feel like if we look at the current state of where first-person shooters are and the sort of main mechanics and sort of controls and general gameplay feel, is we've come a long way from titles such as Doom 2 sort of thing. And Doom 2 is going to be, I'm going to have other examples, but Doom 2 is mainly the focus of this MrMatchat. And I guess one of the best things to point is like, obviously, ammo is quite scarce in Doom 2, especially when you sort of like pick up the shotgun for the first time, and later on it's not so much of a problem. But there's so few games that actually still carry on to the sort of idea of scarcity of ammunition sort of thing, and they're sort of throwing it at you often. And then especially with games, I remember Tomb Raider had a little bit of a problem with that one, where literally for an island you just had so many bullets and stuff like that. And I feel like it is something to consider rather than just ensure the players constantly well stocked. Because while it is annoying when you run out of ammo and you kill people, you can't just fire your bullets wherever you want sort of thing. And that sort of moment where you run out of ammo and you're scavenging around for whatever you can find sort of thing, it's moments like that which create sort of emergent gameplay, or memorable moments, less emergent gameplay sort of thing. And that's something that's one of the things hit me off at the mark sort of thing. At one point I was like, oh no, I haven't got any shotgun ammo, and there's like, you know, pistol takes like 3 shots to sort of take a guy out, whereas a shotgun would just be 1, and I can get like multi-kills and things like that. So I had to, it was the sort of the idea of like those games in which like you have like the BFG, or the big fucking gun, which I don't think that might be its official name. I don't know if they were like, yeah, no, it is a big fucking gun, or whether they were just a bit like, ooh, it's just it stands for big fucking gun, but it means something official. A little bit of a side one there, but you would save it. You would save the ammunition. You would save the bullets because you would know there would be a big boss or something worth firing on, rather than using it on all the little guys sort of thing. And that's sort of like those sort of having to save your ammo and trying to think about the challenges ahead sort of thing aren't really, I mean, I don't remember ever like trying to save ammo too much on Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just gonna shoot this motherfucker and sort of spray through sort of thing. And I guess the ammunition system is actually quite linked to the health as well, because by default, it's the arcadey. You have 100 health sort of thing, and you can get like armor as well, which sort of like dampens some of the bullets, and you can sort of have like single health pickups. You can get like bonus health sort of thing, and go over your max health or max armor sort of thing, and feel really, really safe. Whereas, and that is where we bring in the new Wolfenstein game. Whereas that's a feature in which they've reincorporated again, having health pickups and things like that. And was really happy to see it, because it does make gameplay fun. I mean, while there's the modern military shooters and things like that, and which like, yeah, I think it's at the point in which it's not ultra realism. I mean, they keep striving for something, but realistically, getting hit by a bullet, you don't often walk that off, sort of thing. It's something, and unless you're incredibly lucky and dodging all the bullets, or like built like a brick shithouse sort of thing. I feel like more shooters coming forward in the future should embrace the arcadey nature of it. They should just say, this is your health. If you lose this health, you die, sort of thing, without having the need for like regeneration health or feedback, sort of thing. I understand with certain games like Borderlands or Halo, in which they did the whole shield thing and mechanic sort of thing, and especially with the original Halo, it still had the arcadey thing. You had the bar sort of thing. You had the shield, which would regen, so you can hide and get it back, sort of thing. But you still had to remember that when you had that last red bar sort of thing, the moment you lose your shield, you're gonna get shot and it's gonna hurt, and well, you're gonna die. So that's quite a fair bit. And there has been a quite a big step away from it. Obviously, there's Rise of the Triad, I believe, that's sort of bringing the more arcadey shooters back, and I feel like then there is more of a push for it slightly, because obviously bringing back retro games and things like that is like always going to be like an in thing. I just think Doom 2 has done quite a lot successfully. Obviously, with its great success and many other titles after it, even including a film starring The Rock. Also, it was a first-person film, which was quite weird. It's literally, if you haven't seen the Doom film, watch it. Most people don't really expect much from video game films, but it had some moments. If you like The Rock, and well, in fairness, that's probably not enough to carry it. But back in terms of game design and level design and things, the level itself, you can sort of strafe around. It's got a very fluid movement system. You just sort of like go from place to place, sort of thing. However, do you know what? There's no chest-high walls. There's no cover, sort of thing. You literally go from wall to wall, just sort of room to room. Sorry, not wall to wall. Maybe you're like hugging it or something. And just sort of like a fight wave upon wave of enemies, sort of thing. And you never really feel the need to hide. It's literally, if you either fight or you run away. There's no that middle ground where you're hiding near them under a wall where your head is probably poking out, but they can't shoot you there because it's cover. I'm not a big fan of cover-based shooting. I feel like a lot of people are sort of like starting to. It was fun up to its day. I think Gears of War did it quite well, sort of thing. You have that whole thing, and stealth games. Yeah, no, like Splinter Cell and things like that. I'm not saying all cover-based mechanics are bad or anything like that. It's situational, more to the point. And I like how obviously Doom at the time was such an early game sort of thing. It was just like, we're just gonna go away with it anyway, see what happens. And going back a little bit, just as I briefly scraped over the whole idea of like level design and stuff, and the Doom levels are pretty iconic. I know like quite a few of I guess it's more of my dad's friends rather than my own, sort of thing, or people I know, is like they know the Doom levels, like even the labyrinth ones on the back of their head, sort of thing. And I recently rewatched a video, Yahtzee, also known as from The Escapist, and Zero Punctuation. He did a Let's Drown Out, and they went through the game sort of thing. And like I said, it's these sort of like memorable levels that aren't really around anymore. Obviously, there's the odd Call of Duty map and everything, but when you go back to like all the like Blood Gulch and things like that on Halo, sort of thing, the original Halo, and even before that, the level 1 of Doom. I mean, even I could probably draw the layout right now and still have like a pretty good idea. Even like I know where the secret spots are, sort of thing. I'm not the best at opening them, and I guess like anybody watching this who's quite an expert in the Doom would be like, no, you're missing a secret. You're watching it as the gameplay goes on in the background, sort of thing. A brief comment about actually Doom 2 Hell on Earth that I bought through Steam sort of thing. It's quite interesting, the control scheme, how they've sort of modernised it. There's, when you come to run the game, there's two options. You can either do it classic or like more recent sort of thing. And the game can actually be all mouse driven. Obviously, apart from changing guns and stuff, I think you can scroll the mouse wheel sort of thing. And it's quite weird because obviously as you push the mouse forward, that moves you forward, and as you look left and right sort of thing, it's quite weird. You usually get that sort of like strafey thing. I'd much prefer like the idea of like WASD to move sort of thing, and then the arrow keys to look around and stuff. But it is quite good to see them sort of updating it with like more that sort of first person follow the mouse look sort of thing. And obviously that's another thing, is like I feel like the game only feels slightly aged because, well, there's obviously like you don't look up or down at all in the game, which it works perfectly fine without. I don't know if any more games are going to think about restricting the player in that sort of thing, because like, one, I guess it could actually, like, from a game design perspective, actually save a lot of time. Because if you know the player's perspective is going to be at this angle sort of thing, you don't have to worry about, you know, ceilings or anything fancy at the top sort of thing. It could just be more focused on environments, or the actual playable environments that the player is in. I must admit, something that I really kind of wanted to take away from this MrMatchat about Doom is I feel like there's been a lot of progression within first-person shooters, and I feel like more games need to take the risk and dive back into sort of thing. I must admit, the big titles like obviously the new Wolfenstein, the New Order sort of thing, to have taken those sort of arcadey things again, and it seems to be a success. Obviously, well, with being one of the few good titles on the next gen consoles and things like that. And I feel like this is a good sign, because obviously people can look at the new Wolfenstein game and go, "Oh, that turned out quite well. Oh, maybe we can incorporate, you know, spare ammo, or maybe, you know, health system in a new way," sort of thing. There's always things to explore sort of things, and sometimes going, rather than looking and seeing what everyone else around is doing jeez, you can sort of look back and see some of the really old classics and things like that. Well, I think I've rambled on for long enough on this MrMatchat. Obviously, I've been MrMatchow. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and all that shiznit, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.